Today, we will cover how to use deals in Nimble, as well as the reporting function and our new workflows feature. So we'll also go over how to set up those different pipelines and as well as how to use the reporting function. If you are interested in a general overview of the entire application, you can watch the one that we did last week. It's on our YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and share that link with you, and you'll also receive a link to view a recording of this in case you ever want to review it on YouTube. It'll be in our follow-up email. And additionally, if you have any questions throughout the course of the presentation, you can type them into that question section. And at the end, I will go ahead and try and answer all of them. For those of you that are either new to Nimble or thinking about trialing it, we'll just go ahead and take a quick look at what Nimble is. Nimble is an easy-to-use CRM that works for you in Office 365, G Suite, and anywhere else you work. It automatically combines your contacts, communication history, your email inboxes, calendar appointments. It also integrates with social media and over 200 different apps at this point. We also have a mobile app that's available both on iOS and the Android. Okay, so go ahead and jump right into talking about deals in Nimble. But again, if you are interested in watching a general overview, you can watch our previous webinars on our YouTube channel, or you can even go ahead and register for any that we have upcoming. Okay, so this would be the Nimble Today page. This is where you would first see when you first log into Nimble. This page is your customizable dashboard. For everyone in your company, you'll be able to move these boxes around to see just the widgets that are most interesting to them. You can do that by clicking these three dots here at the top of the page to move, hide, or duplicate any, or you can select Manage Widgets at the top here to add any, remove any widgets, or drag and drop them to new positions as you'd like. So this would all depend on your role in the company, of course, which ones you find most important. If you are in sales, you might be interested in 3 sales-related widgets that we offer. So you might want to move those to the top of the screen. They actually appear at the bottom of my screen here. The deals widget right in the center here will allow you to check the status of any deals in your overall pipeline. You can also take direct action by just clicking on any of these. You'll be taken directly to that deal to edit it. From the drop-down menu, you can see that there's a list of active deals here. So this would be any that are currently in progress that me or my team are working on. If you've closed deals, you can also view them under either won or lost here. Likewise, you can view deals that your teammates have created on these pipelines as well. You can also select those individual deals to access their engagement history and current insights on key contacts. You can update your deal statuses while by going ahead and clicking here, or if you want to see any links to contacts that are included in these deals, you can just hover over that contact. It will bring up their profile in case you need to take any actions, like editing any data, adding notes, anything like that, just like you would do from the full contact profile view. Sorry about that. If you notice our stage funnel over here on the right, this widget will help you monitor your active prospects. So any leads and opportunities that you can see at each stage here. You'll see a quick overview of all of your pipelines and individual stages. This way you can know where you need to fill opportunities and where you need to meet your goal. All in a funnel leading towards closing your deals. You'll be able to see here where you have the most potential gains and where you might need to put a little bit more focus. And likewise, our pipeline chart over here. You can go ahead and select a specific pipeline as well as time frame, and this will go ahead and show you all of your deals organized by date. The color coding on each bar will give you a visual of the amount for each deal you're managing by the stage they're in for that month. For more granular details, you can sort the chart by specific date ranges to zero in on where you need to focus specifically by clicking this box here. You can also hover over a specific month to see the total deals within that stage where you're pointing to at your cursor, just like so. Okay. And so now we'll go ahead and review how you can create deals in the contact record. So for instance, if I go to a contact record, you can easily create a new deal right from the top here where it says add deal, this button just underneath their biography. And this pop-up window will appear here. And it'll allow you to go ahead and fill out details such as a deal name. You can go ahead and enter a probability of success, an expected close date. You can enter an amount, as well as enter any of your contacts, either as the primary contact, which you'll notice because I created this directly from this record, they're already entered in there, and the other contacts I want to include, I can list as participants. You can go ahead and just list as many as you need to, just putting a comma between their names to separate them. You can also select the exact stage and pipeline you'd like to go ahead and add your deal to. And then you can also go ahead and adjust privacy settings. So depending on how collaboratively your team works, you might want to share this deal with everyone, make it private just to the owner. So in this case, me, the person that created the deal, or make them visible to everyone. And then once you create that deal, it'll appear here on the contact record as well as on the pipeline that you set it for. If you want to review any information related to your deals on the contact record, you'll go ahead and just look under interactions here. There's also a specific deals tab under interactions, so you can see all past activities as well. In general, this tab will go ahead and keep track of a lot of information. So, any notes, activities, messages to and from contacts. So it can be helpful sometimes just to go ahead and view the deals specifically. For our business plan or for any trial users, you can create as many pipelines as you want and use them not only to track your sales opportunities if you'd like, but in the past they've also been used for marketing projects and PR opportunities. Some of those might be better used on the workflows tab at this point, which I'll go ahead and show you in a moment. But if you'd like to go to the deals tab, this is where all your deals will be stored. You can go ahead and select it over there from the left. And similarly, if you want to create a new deal, you'll just go ahead and select new deal in the top left corner. You'll notice all the same factors appear there, except there's also a space to add comments here. You can go ahead and name your deal, relate your contacts to it, add the value amounts, expected close date, probability, and then go ahead and choose your beginning stages and privacy, just as I mentioned a moment ago. Once your deal is created, you'll go ahead and click Save. If you wanted to edit an existing deal, you would just go ahead and locate it under the pipeline. Go ahead and select it, and you can click Edit to adjust any information or add any new details that you like. You can also close a deal by selecting it on this drop-down menu. So here, as I mentioned, you can go ahead and, rather if you're on the profile, you can go ahead and select won or lost. So you can close the deal directly from here, or you can close it by dragging it through all the stages on your pipeline. Now, additionally, if you'd like to remove it completely, you can always go ahead and delete it. From the deal record, you can also schedule tasks or events or log deal-related activities, attach files, and even log notes. And if you did want to, for instance, add an activity, you'll just go ahead and enter the deal name where it says related deals here. You'll notice that appears for all of these different activity types in Nimble, so you can always link your deal opportunities as well as your contacts to any of your activities. And any updates from those functions will appear here under All. And similar to the interactions on the contact record, you can select these individual tabs to see those specific data points and points of contact. To the right of the deal, you'll notice in this little thumbnail, you can see an overview of any of your contacts that are included. If you go ahead and click on their name, you'll be able to see, again, their profile in this sidebar. So you can even add notes, log activities, schedule events, send messages, create more deals. You'll also be able to, adjust anything on the profile just as you would normally. So change privacy. You can add contacts to workflows, and you'll see your full history of their interactions as well. In addition to the basic contact info, of course, that appears for your Nimble contacts. You can export deals from Nimble by clicking Export to CSV at the top of the Deals tab here. Within your Deals tab, you'll then be able to choose which deals you want to export, whether that's all of them, those that are just active, won, or lost. You can also export lists based on deals from specific team members, based on who they were assigned to. Nimble allows you to view your team members' deals on a pipeline or as a list. So you'll notice at the top here, there's a pipeline option on the top right, and if I select list, it'll appear as column sort of view here. Deals can be moved from one stage to the next by simply dragging and dropping them within the pipeline view here. So you'll notice here, you can just go ahead and select any of your deals and move them through slowly until you get to your final stages where they will be marked either won or lost. At this point, you'll have the opportunity of listing whether they were won or lost, and you can even give a little bit more information on why for your records. And then right beside this deal owned by function at the top here, this drop-down menu, notice that you can select any deals that have already been won or lost. And the active deals, of course, would be ones you're still working on. Any deals that are stuck would be the ones that appear with a red outline, just as that deal previously did. And that just means you've exceeded the amount of days you've set for a stage. You can still edit those deals, view any information, and continue working with them. It's just to give you a little reminder, essentially. And when you use the list function, similarly, you can go ahead and use these drop-down menus to view your deals by pipeline, owner, and their status currently. You can create unlimited pipelines. This can come in handy, especially if your company operates with different verticals, selling multiple products, or just has different distinct funnels like renewals or upsells or anything like that. Even if that's not the case, it's nice to have flexibility to track as much as possible in one platform rather than to move across multiple platforms. So when creating a new pipeline, you can just select Customize Pipelines here. This will be under your settings, Deal Pipelines menus. So for any pipelines you'd like to create or any amount ranges you want to list, you can do all that here. As you create your pipeline, you can go ahead and give it a name. And then once you do that, you'll be able to go ahead and select it and add custom stages. You can add as many stages as you like to really reflect your process. Only the account admin typically has access to this, but they can grant other users access to creating and customizing these pipelines if you want. That would be in your settings and then privacy settings over here. When you add a pipeline, you can go ahead and name it. You can also, as I mentioned, select the amount ranges option, which will allow you to group deals by their forecasted amounts in that list view. If you want to delete an entire pipeline, go ahead and hover over and just click this little trash can icon. To edit an existing pipeline, you would just go ahead and select it and go ahead and use this pencil icon to edit any names, or go ahead and of course click add stage to add stages as necessary. New stages can also be added at this time. And we're often asked by our customers how to set up their stages and how many they should have. This would really depend on your sales process and your type of business, but generally customers do decide to opt for a limited amount of stages and then use the activities to set follow-ups and things like that. So rather than creating follow-up stages within your pipeline, for any activities or notes you want to add, you can go ahead and do that directly on the deal record. Okay. So if I, for instance, wanted to create a short sales pipeline, I might give it the basic stages of maybe cultivating and giving myself a month perhaps to do that, prospecting, qualifying, so making sure my different contacts here are set to go to the next stages, reviewing the proposal, and then eventually, of course, closing. So I can go ahead and create these custom stages. And now when I return to my deals pipeline, I can go ahead and select this new pipeline, and I'll see the stages I just created listed there. And I can go ahead and add my deals to them as necessary. And of course, from, as I mentioned, any deal records that you might have already created, you can go ahead and, as I mentioned, for follow-ups and things that are necessary, you can log activities, and you can go ahead and enter notes that might be related to this deal if you don't want to create specific stages for those points. Okay. Now, really quickly, I'll go ahead and cover reports. This is how you can use this feature to report on the status of your different sales. From the menu in the top right corner here, again, you can select to report on individual members of your team or everyone at once. You can also select individual pipelines that you'd like to view information from or to view them all at once. This dashboard will basically give you a view of yourself and your team members' deal progress at a glance. So you'll be able to see your totals, your averages, any stuck deals versus active deals, wins versus losses, both the monetary value and then also the number of deals. You can see how each of your teammates is progressing down here at the bottom. You can also use the calendar up here to select a specific date range, or you can select based on these preset options of this week, last week, this month, last month, this quarter, and last quarter. You can also print this information if you'd like for your records. And go ahead and save it or as a PDF or anything in case you need that, you and your team. Our forecasted view here will show you all future deal outlooks. You can sort it by 1 month, 6 months, 3 months, a year, or select a specific time interval. It will show both in terms of just monetary value and then also in terms of the number of deals included on these pipelines. And your deal history is where you would view any historic deal results, again, sorting them by a time interval. So you might want to see a nice line graph how you and your different users on your account have been progressing over time. So that's the basic overview of the deals function, where the deals are used to manage mostly sales opportunities and even projects that you might be working on. You can create a record and link contacts to it. Our workflows, for instance, are used to manage your individual contacts. So in the same way you might want to track your progress like you did with those deals, you might want to track your projects with your relationships with your individual contacts. This way you can never let another lead slip through the cracks. It'll enable you and your team to visualize your progress here. Whether you are in real estate, marketing, recruiting, consulting, etc., you can utilize custom Kanban boards to create multiple pipelines and stages that suit your business. So for instance, at the beginning of a lead generation process, you might find yourself with a bunch of potential deals that are sort of in the early stages, not quite ready to move forward to the sales process, but maybe also not cold enough to be marked. And so in an effort to sort of reduce that clutter in all of your data, this workflows function can be very helpful. You can add leads to your account before adding them to your deal pipeline. And once you want to go ahead and add, or once you decide essentially that a lead is qualified, you can even convert them to deals. So you might want to just convert these opportunities to sales opportunities when you're ready. Leads can be imported into your account from a spreadsheet or from the API. Each pipeline has a specific token, which is a workflow ID, if you will, that I'll go ahead and show you in a moment in the settings. You can organize your potential contacts before moving them, and then you can also add them to your pipelines in bulk from our segmentation feature. So in the contacts tab, for instance, you can select a contact or group of contacts, and then under actions, you can go ahead and add them to a workflow if you'd like. And you'll also notice that there's some built-in filters on the left here, filters for all of your workflows. So as you create them, you can always go ahead and select here to see any contacts that have been added to them already. Now returning back to our workflows tab here, you'll notice that there are custom stages as well as custom information displayed on all of these lead cards. It essentially appears as sort of a Kanban board view here. There's a board view, and then likewise there is a list view if you prefer to sort of get a column readout of this information. And this can be helpful because similar to the contacts tab, you can select multiple contacts and perform actions like marking them important, adding tags, setting reminders. You can even change ownership, privacy, add or remove them from workflows, move them to different stages, and go ahead and convert them to deals. You might even want to export this information to a CSV file. You can export these contacts to MailChimp for mailing campaigns, to a vCard, or even send them a group message. So you might, for instance, want to reach out to everyone in your qualified stage. In that case, you can go ahead and pick everyone in that stage, select them all, and then you can export them to MailChimp or send them a group message if you wanted to go ahead and follow up with everyone. And of course, you can delete contacts as well from this view. In the board view here, In addition to sorting them by tags, who they've been assigned to, or any other functions here, so just name, you can also go ahead and edit the information here. So if you wanted to, for instance, edit the information displayed on these lead cards, you can go ahead and select Configure Fields. You'll have the option to select, add, or remove any additional fields from Nimble. You can even create custom fields right here as you're sort of working on your pipeline if you'd like to add directly to them. And you can modify the stages selected here. Add new stages in between, remove or edit any existing stages directly from here. Or if you click Settings in the top right, you'll be taken to your overall workflow settings. And this is where you can create your workflows, create your stages ahead of time. So this is where you would go ahead and get those custom workflow stages. You can also enter reasons why a contact might have been unsuccessfully exited. So in the same way that when you get to the final stages of closing a deal in the Deals tab, it asks you for a little bit more information on why a project was won or lost. You can go ahead and list similar reasons here that'll be listed on those records, so that if you ever need to return to that sales opportunity or that contact and you want to follow up, you'll have a clear, distinct reason for why they were initially removed. You can also select which fields here are displayed on those forward cards as you're creating a pipeline. And as I mentioned, if you did want to import contacts directly into a workflow from the API, you could use this workflow ID here. So this would be for APIs or third-party integrators. Okay. And as you're working through your workflows, it's very similar to the Deals tab in that you'll just go ahead and drag and drop them to new stages here as you want to go ahead and display them. Next. And lastly, as you are creating your new workflows, if you select Add New Workflow in the top left there, you can create them from scratch, which will show you the menus that I just displayed, which will give you the option to list your reasons, give your fields here, and also create each custom stage as necessary. You can even select a specific color to go ahead and list under. But we do have some templates here. So if you are, for instance, in any of these industries, or even just think these templates would work for you, you can always select a template and you'll be able to see a quick overview here as you select any of them of both all the stages that will be listed. Each stage also has custom instructions, so you and your teammates will know exactly what needs to be carried out here. Likewise, you'll be able to see the fields that'll automatically be added to your workflow once you go ahead and select it. So if you ever wanted to use a template instead of creating everything from scratch, these can also be very helpful and save you a little bit of time. All right. That pretty much covers all the basics of the workflows, deals, and reportings. I'd love to go ahead and open this up to questions. If anyone has any, you can type them directly into that questions box if you have not already. And I'll go ahead and just try and answer all of them in the next few minutes. Additionally, I would like to invite you to some of our upcoming webinars here. For instance, next week we have a general overview, which will just go through all the different tabs and features in Nimble. And similarly, you can type in any questions that you might have about those. And beyond that, we also have one the next week on contact cleanup strategies. So if you do have any questions about editing your contacts, importing them, updating from bulk, going ahead and adjusting or removing any contacts, finding duplicates, all that information will be covered in that webinar. So that will be very helpful as well. And for anyone who, I know we have mostly trial users and already existing Nimble users, but if anyone did want to sign up today to go ahead and trial Nimble, you can go to nimble.com/offers/webinar30 to receive 30 days of Nimble for free. And now I'll go ahead and get to any questions you might have. Great. Okay, some people attending and viewing for their clients that are on trial. Okay. All right, so great here. If you don't plan to already, can you address how deals, pipelines, and workflows differ and how you would use them together? Sure, I think I covered that a little bit, but just for a quick overview. Again, the workflows would be are a great way to sort of manage your interactions and visualize your process with your contacts, especially leads as you're sort of qualifying them and moving them through those initial stages. Once you sort of taken your contacts through every stage of the workflow pipeline you created, you might want to go ahead and convert it to a deal then, as it becomes a sales opportunity. And once you've done that, you can enter things like a monetary value. You can link different contacts to the deal, additional contacts, maybe more than just the ones that you converted from your workflow. You can attach activities, notes, files, all those kinds of things to have a really sort of full overarching view of the project at hand. And then beyond that, you might want to go ahead and view those reports for your information so you can see how your team and how you're progressing once you have converted those to sales opportunities. So I would say they're pretty similar functions, but the workflows will just manage your deals. So for instance, you can display data, or they will just manage your contacts, I'm sorry. So you can display, data fields related to them. And you can also go ahead and view the contact records as you're sort of working with them. The deals will manage any sales opportunities or bigger projects that might involve contacts. Okay, and then I have a question about how do I collapse the Nimble prospector when my email's open? There should be a little sidebar. Give me one moment here. Maybe I can pull up my account and give a quick demonstration of that. I know it's not directly related here to the workflows, deals, and reporting, but of course, we're always happy to help out. So I don't even have mine displayed, but typically there is a little side panel function here. So you'll notice for any of your emails, I believe the Nimble prospector would show up on the right here, and this sidebar should be just to the left of it. In my case, it doesn't look like it's appearing here. My add-on is not displayed, but usually you can go ahead and collapse the side panel. So if you see a little arrow that's either pointing out or in, you can usually go ahead and hide the prospector in the side panel in general here. Or if you see the Nimble symbol listed here under these other add-ons, you can just go ahead and click that to remove it, and hopefully that'll help out. Great. All right, now returning to your question. Okay, so understood for workflows and deals, but what about the pipelines? So the pipeline is just the term that we are referring to the entire process. So this would, for instance, be a pipeline. My new leads pipeline here, and it consists of these different stages. The pipeline would just be this process that you're taking your contacts through. So the stages of the pipeline here: new leads, reviewing leads, attempting to contact, connected, qualified, and then not qualified. This is it. It would just be that path that you're putting either your contacts or your deals on to monitor them. Great. Well, I'll give another moment in case anyone has any additional questions, but that looks like all of them for now. If you do have questions that are personal to your account, so for instance, just like that Gmail prospector questions, anything about APIs or billing, anything you have specific questions about, you can always reach out to us at care@nimble.com. That's CARE@nimble.com. Let me also go ahead and put the link to our YouTube channel directly in the chat, just in case you want to check out any previous webinars here. As I mentioned, we have them every week on Wednesday. And typically we upload them here. The most recent one we've uploaded was on, again, segmentation, group messages, and custom fields. We also always have a general Nimble 101 overview like every other week. So that will be next presentation. And you can always check here, and these are just great walkthroughs similar to today. If you need to review any information or have any additional questions, you might want to go ahead and check here. And of course, as I mentioned, you can always reach out to us directly. We're always happy to assist. I just want to thank you all so much for attending today. We appreciate it. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. And I'm wishing you all a great rest of your week. Thank you so much.